Does your chicken come out dry and tasteless? I know a lot of people have a hard time cooking chicken and getting it moist, and at the same time, still cooking it all the way through. So stick around here today, and I'm going to show you how to cook a better chicken on your barbecue pit. I am going to show you how I set up my pit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook today on the Weber kettle, and I'm cooking thighs. Guys, if you're trying to work on your chicken game, work with thighs. They're going to hold that moisture a lot better. They're easy to work with, and they don't dry out like the chicken breast does. So start with thighs, move your way up to the breast or the chicken halves, which is, I think, the greatest thing you can cook, and try to get it right. But come in here today, let me show you how I start my fire, how I have my Weber kettle set up, and what we do to these chickens before we get them on the pit. So come in here, let's look at that Weber kettle. You can see I have my slow and sear set up inside of my kettle. I have lump charcoal, a little bit of Kingsford briquettes, and I have about 1/3 of a chimney full of Kingsford briquettes heating up that I'm going to pour down into this corner. It's set up for an offset cook. I have foil on this side, and the air has to come through, up through my flame, and then back across my chicken. That's a great way to do it. If you don't have a slow and sear, they have baskets for Weber kettles, or you can just put your coals on one side so that you can get your chicken from being directly over the heat. That's the way I have it set up today. I like to cook chicken at about 300 degrees. When those coals are good and hot, we're going to pour them right here in this little pocket I left open. Get on the grate. But first, let's go to these chickens and see how they're looking. I'll always take my thighs, and this skin we can kind of wrap around. It's not real bad. Not a lot of fat on it. If you don't like too much skin, you can always just square it off a little bit. It's going to look a little bit prettier. This one is hanging. I'll take that one off. Get that one right. Let's look at this one. Again, not too bad. I think my wife picked these up at Costco is where she got these from, and I like their meats pretty good. Let me trim up the rest of these. I'll show you what we're going to do next. Turn all these thighs over. You kind of see where I've cleaned them up. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to inject these thighs. Do you have to inject a thigh to keep moisture in there? No, you really don't. Can you put flavor in there with that? Sure you can. So we're doing a lot of this today for flavor aspect, not necessarily for the moisture, because thighs have a lot of moisture, but never hurts to put any in there. I've just got a simple injector, picked it up at Cosmos, and there's different type of needles you can get. This one has one hole on each side. When I'm doing competition, I use a finer one that doesn't have as big of a hole in it. But this is just for the house today. And I'm just going to come in here. It's kind of a smaller. And I'm going to start injecting about that much. And I'm going to go on each side of the bone. Just like that. Go down in here. That one. Both sides of the bone. It's going to plump this chicken up. It's going to add moisture to it. And it is going to add flavor. But we're going to inject all these. Then we're going to dry them off. Pat them dry before we season them. And I'll show you the rub that I've chosen to use today. Got a brand new rub. Haven't used it before. So y'all are going to get to see it same time I do. See what I think about it. And this injection I'm using today is the wood-fired injection from Cosmos. It's really good. Got a lot of great flavor in it. Let me get all these thighs injected, and then I'll get right back with you, folks. My binder of choice is yellow mustard, guys. And I don't know if the brand makes any difference. I'm just a French's mustard guy, so I grab French's every time I grab mustard. But the tops are going to get seasoned last. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub the tops good, get those coated, turn them over. My charcoal is ready, so I'm going to take that about 1/3 of a chimney, dump it right here in this corner. Level that off. You see I got a piece of oak right there that we're going to get going. I have a couple more mixed through there, but we're going to let this start warming up, get the grate on it, and then we'll see if we can cook this chicken. Here's the rub I'm using today, 956 from TXQ, Texas Barbecue. 956 is the area code for the Rio Grande Valley, folks. And this is his Échale Todo. So that just means throw it on everything, put it on everything. So we're gonna use this all-purpose tonight on this chicken, see how it turns out. We're not gonna sauce all of these. I'm gonna sauce some of them, show you a new sauce I've never used before that I'm really liking the way it tastes. But we'll get that done. Well, I tell you what, this looks like it's got some big chunks of sugar in it. Haven't even read it all yet. Salt, sugar, yeah. And I bet you that's turbinado sugar. It's a big, it's not regular sugar, I don't think. Could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but I tell you what, go check them out. You'll find out if it's any good here in just a little bit. And if it is, we're going to want to go down there and let them know Chef Johnny, you saw him using it. They didn't. I bought this. I bought some rubs from him at the rodeo, so he's not paying me for this, guys. I am just trying a new rub from somebody from Texas. Figured it was a good way to do business. Let's turn these over now. And if you want to, when you turn them, you can always season that skin that's down on the bottom, right? Kind of get the sides there a little bit. If that skin wraps around, you're going to want to let's just sprinkle this kind of evenly across the top. We're going to let this sweat out. We're going to check that Weber kettle. And if it's at 300 degrees, we are going to get these chicken thighs on there. Let's get these thighs on there. I'm going to set some of these bigger ones right here closer to the fire. Kind of tucking them when I put them in, keeping that skin underneath if it's there. Big one right there. Put those 3 there. And this kettle was just big enough for 10 thighs. Cover that back up. Okay, we're about a half hour in. I'm gonna put my temp spike in here, guys. It comes on this right here. Y'all can see that. Dual probe gives me my meat temp and my pit temp both, but you want to take it all the way down to that line. So put it in a couple of these closer to the fire. Cover it back up. See y'all when they get to be about 160. Let's check some temperatures here. You can see I sauced part of them. Got a half of them sauced. Half of them are not going to be sauced, but see where we're at here. Those others were hotter than these. See, that one's 152. Oh, 162 on that one. All right, there we go. Let's get it covered back up. Heading up close to an hour on total cook time. Took me a little longer than I thought I was going to. It looks like these birds are ready. I know these, I know the sauce ones are. Check these other ones. Look at that. Pretty yard bird. Some sauce, some unsauced. There you have it, some beautiful looking chicken. I gave you a few pointers. I said start off with thighs, right? Either inject or brine, marinade. Remember, brining, you got to get that moisture out of the skin because it's going to soak up moisture also. So you got to make sure you render it out. But if you're cooking at 300, there at the end of this cook, I let it travel on up to north of 335 probably to crisp that skin up some. So we got that moisture in there. That is a great way to do it, especially when you're cooking chicken breast. A lot of different ways to do this. I have some brining videos. I have a lot of other chicken videos that you can find. Go to my chicken playlist, and that's going to help you out. I do leg quarters. I do half chickens. I've got whole chickens. I've got them on the rotisserie. I've got them in pellet grills. Got them on my big smoker out there. Got them on the Weber kettle, and I've got them on the Primo and ugly drum smoker. So there's a big variety for you to check out there. But guys, these come out real nice. I'm going to let you get up close, see what they look like. We're going to give one a sample, but remember, add moisture. That always helps. Inject or brine. Both those work very well. Trim your skin good. Get the big fat off of it. That's going to help. Watch your temperatures. 165. I'm not scared to pull chicken at 160 and let it carry over cook to that 165. Of course, we know USDA is 165 degrees. Find the seasoning that you like. Today, we tried out anywhere I put it. Here it is, right here. The 956 from Texas Q. I thought it was really good. The sauce we used was from Salt Lick. It's a honey pecan. Never put it on anything before, so that's the first time with it. But chicken's not hard to do. You just have to monitor it and not overcook it. That's why we start with thighs. They're much more forgiving than a breast. But these look good. I'm going to bring you in close, let you see a slice off of it, then we'll give it a taste. So slice a little bit off of this one right here. It's a good looking thigh. Cut into it. Let y'all see what it looks like. Folks, that is nice, moist chicken. Look at that. Just moisture running out of it. There is nothing wrong with that chicken at all. And I bet you it's packed full of flavor. I know that wood-fired chicken is a very, very good marinade, but that's pretty. Look at that. Man, nothing wrong with that at all. Well, that is some nice looking chicken, folks. I tell you what, no complaints at all. It's got nice smoke on it. Got plenty hot. We grilled it. That skin is not rubbery because we took it up to that higher temperature, rendered it out. There's just a few things you have to do to really make chicken taste good. This wood-fired chicken injection is good from Cosmos. I like it very, very well. But it puts a great flavor with it. So remember, get you a instant read thermometer. They work great. You saw my wireless ones on the video. I like those real well. You can use regular wired ones if you don't want the wireless. But guys, get you some thermometers where you can monitor temperatures. That's important so you don't overcook that chicken. Pretty chicken. Let's give it a sample. That's good, folks. Finger licking good, right? Me a napkin here. That's good chicken. I have plenty of other chicken videos on here. And if you want to check out different types of binders, guys, I have a video on binders. I think I used mayo, mustard, olive oil, and plain. We did a comparison to see what came out best. But I'll put that link below so you can find that video and do it. It's an older video, but it's got some great information on it. But hey, thanks for stopping by Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine. I am Chef Johnny, the ultimate beef-loving Texan. We'll see y'all down the road. So long, everybody.